Good day to everyone, and welcome to the premiere of Philippine Folk Songs, a song cycle, presented to you by the students of MUP 194 HLPN 09 under Sir Mahler Villanueva. And before we begin, let us hear the opening remarks from Miss Maria Caren Alcabaza, one of our arrangers.
A good day to everyone, especially to our dear audience members. This past few months has truly been a challenge for everyone, with the challenges brought by the online blended learning setup and the pandemic. Life has never been the same since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. But in spite of all these challenging circumstances, we are proud to present the fruits of our labor. We, the members of MUP 194 HLP N09, under the guidance of Sir Mahler Villanueva and through the cooperation of our group members, we proudly present to you Philippine Folk Songs, a song cycle.
Sampaguita is a folk song whose roots can be traced to the Ilocos Norte region. This folk song explores the beauty of the Sampaguita and how it epitomizes love. In tango rhythm, the arrangement encompasses the mood of dance, which we, Filipinos, can also interrelate with our own dances. Keeping the original melody, the arrangement for the piano extensively explores contemporary structure, which complements the simplicity of the string parts.
Sampaguita nga napusaksak, ang anglo na nagadiwarnak, umanayen daw liwliwak, losong kanilagip kanyak. Daytoy pusok no agsangsangit, ulwanan at tumartaretet, kaskanayon nga napiris, agyanutan tinatlatinggit. Daytoy panyok no maregreg ko, di makapitot isuglinan ko, ket nagmarkat tonahan ko, nagburtati sinan puso.
Igsoon is a folk song rooted in Kinaray-a tradition. The song humorously plays with the idea of exchanging one item for another, with the end result of the song being that the person ends up with nothing. This arrangement of Igsoon explored the melody of the song through the habanera rhythm. The arrangement explores not only the habanera rhythm, but also the possibilities of canon between the piano and the strings.
Igsoon sa tabaknayan, hapit anay sa amin, bisan wara kasing kanen, may buyo nga paramamen. Iwanan mo ang buyo, sa baray ay madamo, ang aking ginaayo, ang singsing sa imong tudlo. Iwanan mo ang singsing, kay kutok sa malakingking, ang aking ginasiling, ang guguma sa kasing-kasing. Iwanan mo ang gugma, sa baray ay abunda, ang aking ginamolestya, si padang adalaga. iwanan mo si Padang sa aray na kamang-kamang. Naplian mo singkatang, sit-sit-sit, alibang-abang.
Tiriritang Maya is a children's folk song rooted in Tagalog tradition. Tiriritang Maya, or Tiririt as it is fondly called, is a song that narrates the persona hearing the chirp or bird song of the Maya bird, and how he likens it to the grumble of his stomach as he craves for the delicacy called tinumis na baboy. Deriving inspiration from the concept of the bird song, the arranger sets the mood of the arrangement by beginning with a bird-like motif in both the right hand of the piano and the violin, setting the mood with a dolce expression. As the vocal melody enters, we hear a recall to the bird call in both the left hand of the piano accompaniment and the violin. Inspired by Velez's Sa Kabukiran and Santiago's Ano Kayang Kapalaran, the arranger explores the concept of the bird call through vocal runs while having a grandiose piano accompaniment, playing the melody of the original folk material. For comedic effect, the arrangers also included an English poem meant to be read during this portion of the piece.
Tiririt ng maya, tiririt ng ipon, uni ng tiyan ko'y tumis na baboy. Tiririt ng ipon, tiririt ng maya, uni ng tiyan ko'y tumis na baboy.
The Maya bird sang, while the neighbor bird replied, as my stomach cried out, "Oh, I crave for Tinamis na baboy. Oh, when we will see face to face this delicacy I want to taste. Oh, this hunger I hope I brave before my stomach has a shockwave." And again the Maya bird sang, while the neighbor bird sang. But the stomach couldn't speak bird. In feathered tongue, not a single word. So it tried to say what it wanted to convey. Bird, 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 bird. Now I want Tinamis na bird.
Tiririt ng maya, tiririt ng ipon, uni ng tiyan ko'y tumis na baboy. Tiririt ng ipon, tiririt ng maya, uni ng tiyan ko'y tinumis na baboy.
Inspired by the Filipino children's game Langit, Lupa, the composers followed how the game goes. The game begins with the chanting of the Langit Lupa rhyme, and it is then chosen. The next stage of the game would then be the it chasing the rest of the players. However, the it cannot tag the player if they are on elevated ground. The round then ends when the it tags a player and says out loud, "Taya!" With the text of Langit Lupa actually sounding very morbid for a children's game, the arrangers viewed the text through the lenses of realism. Instead of viewing Langit Lupa as a children's game, the arrangers viewed the game as a narrative of a person being hunted down by a malevolent force or entity. The song begins with a very ominous piano melody, followed by a collegno battuto passage in the cello, to mimic a ticking clock, and the sul ponticello passage on the violin. In the Adagio Misterioso section of the song, the arrangers explore the imagery of the persona finding a safe place to hide from the malevolent force hunting them down. Later on, in the Molto Allegro con Fuoco section, the arrangers now explore the imagery of the persona being chased. Midway in the score, the arrangers explore Schoenberg expressionism with a Sprechgesang passage in the vocal part, accompanied by a dreamy surreal piano accompaniment. The passage then returns to the fast, chase-like mood set at the start of the molto allegro con fuoco section, with now accented notes, making the passage sound more extreme as the heat of the chase becomes more intense. The score ends with a slower-paced passage as a proverbial calm before the storm, as it ends with the text, "Sabi ba ng Diyos? Oo."
Langit, lupa, impierno, impierno, langit, lupa, langit, lupa, langit, lupa, impierno, impierno, saksak, puso, tulo, ang dugo, patay, buhay, patay, buhay, umangis ka na. Langit, lupa, impierno, impierno, saksak ang puso, tulo ang dugo, patay, buhay. Umalis ka na! Saksak puso, ulo ng dugo, patay, buhay, patay, buhay, umalis ka na. Sabi ba ng Diyos? Oo.
Iliili is a folk song rooted in Illongo tradition. It is a lullaby used to lull children and infants to sleep. Iliili has gained traction throughout the years, being viewed beyond its folk roots. One example of this is its usage in the 2006 Filipino horror film White Lady, where the lullaby would now be associated with the horror film genre. Aside from this perception, another way Iliili has been viewed would be that the persona of the song is not the mother of the child, rather a foster parent, due to how the mother of the child had already passed away. The arrangers explored the feelings of anxiety and restlessness based on this perception of the lullaby. The arrangement begins with a cradling motion with the eighth note and triplet rhythmic figure on the left hand, which is supported by the right hand quarter note chords. At the same time, a mimicry of a ticking clock through the collegno battuto articulation in the cello helps further set the feeling of anxiousness throughout the arrangement. Midway in the piece, the usage of chromatics is a callback to the previous piece in the song cycle. The arrangement then eventually ends through the repetition of the vocal melody and text, and the melody between the left hand of the piano and the cello.
Tuloganay, wala diri, imong nanay, katotienda, pakal papay, Iliili, tuloganay. Wala diri imong nanay, katotienda, bakal papay, Iliili, tuloganay.
Following the original folk song, the arrangers expanded Ben Pen de Sadapan and arranged it in an ABA form. Deriving inspiration from ragtime and vaudeville music tradition, and the music heard in carousel rides in circuses and fairs, Part A is written in a similar style, sounding fun and whimsical. Part B, on the other hand, can be described to be dramatic and serious, contrasting Part A.
Pen de sadapan, de cuchillo de almacén, how de carabao patuten. Sipit na nibilipit, hilot, hilak na bumulaklak, sa tabi ng dagat, sayang pula, tatlong pera, sayang puti, tatlong salapi. Pen de sadapan, de cuchillo de almacén, how de carabao patuten. Sadapan de cuchillo de almacén, how de carabao matuten. Sipit na milipit, pintot bilak na mumulaklak, sa tabim ng dagat. Sayang pula, tatlong pera, sayang puti, tatlong salapi. Pen de sadapan, oh pen de sadapan. de sadapan, de cuchillo, de almacen, how, de carabao, batutin. Sipit na mimilipit, ito't pilak na mulaklak, sa tabi ng dagat, sayang pula, tatlong pera, sayang puti, tatlong salapi. Ten de sadapan, de cuchillo, de almacen, how, de carabao, batutin.
And that was the premiere of Philippine Folk Songs, a song cycle. Thank you for all of your support in making this premiere a success. And before we end this program, let us hear the closing remarks from Miss Maria Caren Alcabaza.
Before we end our presentation, we would like to thank these following important individuals. First of all, the University of the Philippines Diliman College of Music, for this opportunity to contribute to the Philippine folk songs, to help in reviving and preserving it. Second is our advisor, Sir Mahler Villanueva, for the reminders and guidance with the different phases of the production. Third is our parents, our supporters and our principal sponsors, for believing in us and being with us as we strive to produce the best of our works in these trying times. And last but definitely not the least, our God, the provider and our creator, for giving us these talents and guiding us to make use of these gifts for greater glory. Again, we thank you for joining us in our venture. We hope that you enjoyed our presentation. Thank you and take care, everyone.